being here today in this beautiful, sunny Arizona. Woo! All right, a little backdrop here of how I've been stealth camping for the last 17 and a half months now, but who's counting? First 15 months, I was in an Acura sedan, an old Acura, 2003, so we're not looking like shiny off the lot. I stealth camped, you know, I only have 2.5 months now in my SUV, so I'll tell you the similarities and the differences, which aren't really many in stealth camping. I'm going to basically be speaking about the car and being a stealther in a car. The first 3 months when I went on the road, I was stationary within a 200-mile radius of Dallas-Fort Worth area. Yay, Texas. Any Texans out here? Woo! I was doing craft shows. That's my business, one of my businesses. So I was moving around from show to show. Like if there was a show on a Saturday and it was 50 miles from where I was going to be, I needed to move. But I'm going to tell you, when I first got started, I left Sticks and Bricks. I was renting a room. First night out. Stuff still not quite organized on my front seat. Oh my gosh, what the heck am I going to do? And I pulled up alongside on a street in a neighborhood where I had one acquaintance friend. Well, that only lasted for about 2 nights, and then the friend was like, no, move on, you know. That's the short story. So I was like, I had done lots of research, top 10 places to stealth, because I'm a little nervous. I'm in the city. I'm in the big city, mid-cities. So I was like, okay, Walmart, here I come. So I had already made my Reflectix, and I used Reflectix one side, I had felt on the other side, and every single night, I just put those babies in there as quickly as I could. And I know a lot of people are like, you know, you go in early and you set up, and then you leave early in the morning. I necessarily, over the bigger scheme of things, now I'm going to talk more broadly, I didn't do that. I didn't hurry. I didn't get in there dark. My top 3 places within the city when I was stationary for 3 months was Walmart, a medical center on the outskirts, big medical center, people coming and going all night, and a street alongside a busy apartment complex. I kept jumping around there, like the rule of thumb is move, you know, have 3 or 4 places and move, just keep moving. I did that for the first 3 months because I'm still like antsy inside. I got to follow all the rules. Well, let's flash forward. This past October through December, I was back in Dallas-Fort Worth area doing shows. Well, I stretched that rule quite a bit. I'll let you know, I stayed in places more than 1 night, more than 2 nights, more than 3 nights. But my personality, I'm not saying that you shouldn't just keep moving, you know, that's not a good rule of thumb. My personality, I like to push the envelope. Push it, see how far you can push it. So with that, for different reasons, I have had 4 knocks over the past 17 months. Some people go 5 years. I've never had a knock. I was in Lake Havasu, knew I shouldn't have been there. Small print, park closes at 9. Well, maybe I didn't see that small print the first time around. I'm not trying to make this hard for anybody. This is just about me. This is not us all coming in and breaking the rules. It wasn't like that at all. But I got a knock around 9 o'clock. You can't stay here. Another knock came at Walmart where he had to have all the people in one area because of those machines that come through. So that was an innocent knock. Another knock was in Washington when I was heading up after I left, I'll finish my other knock. I went up to Washington to be a camp host, and I was in a casino area for a week, and it was totally innocent, and then I got a knock. So, and I had heard you could stay at the casino, but because drugs and things are so bad, they're like, you know, no offense to you, and it still feels yucky when you get that, like you're doing something wrong. But that was an innocent, I had to move on. Now my 4th knock is the most interesting of all. I was at the medical centers flashback to Dallas-Fort Worth area. I had been staying there. I'd been moving around to that area. And lo and behold, like midnight, here comes the police. He's banging on my trunk. And he said he was a cop in Denver. And he had to do that for heroin addicts to get them to wake because they're like dead asleep. So he's like, didn't you hear me? I'm like, yeah, I'm yelling. I was trying to get the lockdown. I ended up opening up the door. How crazy is that? But I knew he was a policeman. And we had, my takeaway with all these knocks is we had a 15-minute conversation. I shared my business with him. My son's like, only you, Mom, 15 minutes talking to the policeman. But I responded rather than reacted. And at the end of our conversation, he said, Linda, this is private property, but you can come back here anytime you like. So go figure, so that so that was a very comfort zone. So I only have a couple more minutes here. So I flashed up to Washington and Utah, and I was stationary for 4 months in camp work jobs. And then I headed over to the East Coast and did some travels. And my top 3 there was visitor centers, pilots, and loves. Pilots and loves being, one, and visitor centers the others. I like interstate, and I like going and doing that way. And now with my SUV, it's the same thing. My tips are I go in quickly, put those reflectix up, and I don't do any peeking out the window, because peeking out the window is just going to cost me angst. Once I'm in there, unless it's crazy noise, I'm not doing anything. And I am pretty dark parking under a light. I do my iPad, I do my phone. Everything's been cool throughout the whole time. I feel really comfortable. I've done hotel parking lots when I was at national parks. I visited 17 national parks. That's real easy to do. SUV, same thing. So I get up and I take my time and I get on my way about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And I just having a good time with it, and I'm not concerned. I'm not nervous. I'm an overthinker, but I'm not overthinking this. I'm just rolling with it. I'm not trying to simplify something that's serious, but I've gotten really comfortable with doing it. And I think first impression is really important. Some people say, you don't even look like you're living in your car. Well, we don't want to look homeless. We want to look decent and talk to people in a decent manner. And a lot of times my MO is I tell people I'm traveling. If the knock is I'm traveling across the country, I have a business, you can use this too, even if it's just selling a few things on Amazon, who cares? I'm just traveling the country, seeing the national parks. My time on earth is not getting much longer, and people will be on their way then. So I run with an innocent approach and not a nervous, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. No, my sleep's important, and that knock's going to come whether it comes or not. You know what I'm saying? So with that, that's about it. I think I'm just about out of time here. Things I don't have, the beauty of a car is stickers, decals, large text, bright colors. I don't have a bike, a kayak, a generator. I don't have vent fans, and I don't have a solar panel. So can we say, yay for car dwelling? I had that good experience with the policeman, and I respect that. But at the same time, he gave me some information. He said, Linda, I have 5 or 6 people living in their cars on my route at night, and I just wanted to check in with you and make sure you're okay. My heart was pounding and tears, because I'm thinking, dang, my kids don't even check in like that. So if you can just think of it that he may be coming from a different perspective, and coming from Denver, and now he's in Texas, and he's just doing his due diligence, then I think that's a way to flip some of our negativity. That's just my personal opinion on that. I forgot with visitor centers and pilots, when I'm on the interstate and I'm like, yeah, I can do another 50, I can do another 100. When I'm heading towards a national park, I'm telling you, Google, if I don't have my YouTube friends to talk to or myself to talk to, I'm talking to Google. Pilots near me. And I learned that from another YouTuber. Loves near me, visitor center near me. There was times when I had to check, I don't really want to stop yet at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I did, because the next one is 150 miles down the road. So pay attention when you're on interstate. And I chilled 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd be sitting in a visitor center. One more thing about visitor centers is there's times when there is the signs that say no overnight parking or something of the sort. I'm one, I ask questions. And I'm like, I don't know. Can you read the sign, Linda? It says no overnight parking. I went into the visitor center, made friends with the guy at the desk. You don't really necessarily have to do that. I just talk. Yeah. And anyways, I said to him, I see the sign out there that says no overnight parking. I said, I'm just traveling through, heading on to my next travels. I said, is it okay? He's like, it's perfectly fine. I believe, when asking, that those signs might be up there to deter other situations. I'm not speaking in black and white here. I'm just saying my experience when I went in and would ask them, I never got a no. Even in a pilot's, no overnight parking, this and that. I don't know, I'm just saying, this is not Linda's encyclopedia, that those signs could have been up maybe 15 years. And maybe times are changing a little bit. When I do see those signs, I go in and ask. And every time it's been a yes. And boy, I even have a better night's sleep on those nights. So,
thank you.
I had a couple more. I forgot we were doing the apps. iOverlander, Free Roam, ROAM, and Park number 4, Night. Park 4 Night. So those are 3. And, just a little, an extra to help out people is, I know I appreciate all of you out there who have already come up and told me, but I have a pretty good channel, thanks to Bob for a lot of that. And it's called Serene and Simple Life, where I have a lot of extra how-tos, how I make my reflectix, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, I do call myself a babbling brook, so I will put that out there and you can beware ahead of time. I'd really like you all to encourage you to get over your fear of the dark. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And my MO, and it can be yours as well. Faith over fear.